Difference between quote and an invoice. My name is Miles Primrose from Business Site. I've been working with and mentoring trades and builders for the last 28 years. I'm always on the lookout for services or people that can actually help the trades and builders that I help. I'm here with Nicholas from Virtual Estimator in Melbourne. So Nicholas, can you give us one of your views on this subject around the difference between a quote and an invoice?
Thanks, Miles, for asking, and it's a bit of a can of worms in my mind. I mean, the old adage of on the back of a beer coaster for Australia, on the back of a pie wrapper in New Zealand, and on the back of a napkin in America is how we've known people to do quotes in the past. And converting that to an invoice is kind of pie in the sky, and it doesn't work in the real world. It certainly doesn't work anymore. And it might work in some places and in some types of industries, but going forward with, say, in the electrical industry now, you need to have swims with all of your invoices, otherwise you don't get paid. And there's more and more things that are changing. But from my perspective, the best way to create a quote is that it's real life. So you're creating a quote that has the bill of quantities, and you have it broken down into stages. So if we look at the roofing industry and putting on a metal roof, if you were putting on a metal roof, the first thing to go out would be the fascia and gutter, and then the battens, and then the metal roof, and then follow up with maintenance with flashings. So there's 4 stages, and the client probably wants an invoice in those 4 stages. And then you also have to look at, well, what are the legalities of what you need to actually invoice it for deposits, or what agreements you have with the business, with the builders that you're working with, or who you have to send your invoices to. So from my perspective, doing a quote is kind of like doing an invoice, because you're preparing to do the invoice, because otherwise you're wasting time. You may as well do it right the first time, and then you're just following through. Plus, what's really important about that is you may be accepting that, have that quote being accepted 6 months later, and what did you quote? If you don't have it all documented and saved in a way that makes sense, it's really difficult to look back. But you've got that record, so you can then look at the plans and you can see, well, the plans have changed 3 times since then, but my meterage and my area is the same, and nothing else has changed that's changing what I would be charging. So I'll accept that, that they've accepted my quote. Otherwise, I'd be going for a variation. And if you have to re-quote it again, that becomes something that's time consuming, and you're not really getting paid for that. So from my perspective, they're kind of the same thing, but everyone has a different point of view.
And the other thing also is, I mean, not from a numbers point of view, but some people actually end up having their terms and conditions on the invoice where it actually needs to be on the quote, because that's what the client is going to see first. But so look, thanks for your thoughts on that, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.
Thanks, Miles.